Hey there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It is Sat Chat time, and oh my gosh, I had so much fun today. I'm going to tell you what I did. Oh my word. I went, and I told you I was going to do this, and I did it today. Today is Friday, it's 6:09 p.m. I'm filming this. I just got back from Whitewater rafting for the first time, and oh my gosh, it was so much fun. It's totally worth it. It's kind of expensive, but totally worth it. And it was a trip with my daughter. Maisie is on the school senate, and so school senate had a trip and parents were allowed to go. And so I'm like, you know what? I've always wanted to try that. I would love to go. So we signed up, and it was so much fun. I didn't know really what to expect. I was a little anxious last night getting ready because I was like, well, what do I do about my keys? I can't, what if I lose my keys in the river? That's why I was just very nervous about that. But they had a key drop box at the place we used. Three Rivers, Whitewater. That was the name of the place in the Forks, Maine. It was the Kennebec River rafting trip. There's a lot of different companies out there that do it. But anyway, that's what the school had chosen. And oh my gosh, it was so much fun. So they ended up dividing us, the parents and teachers, into one raft, and then the student senate advisor, that teacher, was with all the kids in the other raft. And so I've never done it before, and we were kind of talking beforehand. Some of the parents have done it before, and a lot of people are like, I don't want to sit in the front. That's a little, that's a little much. I don't know. And the student senate guy the advisor made the president and vice president sit in the front of their raft, and so we're carrying the raft down to get in the river, and the guy goes, all right, does anybody want to sit in the front? And nobody was like volunteering, so I'm like, I'll try, I'll give it a go, why not? I've never done it before, might as well, just jump right in. And oh my gosh, it was so crazy and so fun and so amazing, and I cannot wait to do it again. Like, I can't believe, I feel like I have wasted 45 years. I've never done this before today. Not that, you'd be whitewater rafting as a baby or anything, but 20 years, 25 years, I could have been whitewater rafting all this time. It's so awesome and fun. I cannot believe it. My husband didn't know what I was going to think. Because when I said I'd like to go whitewater rafting, when Maisie said she was going, he was like, I don't know. Because she's like, well, honey, you don't really like strenuous things, and you don't like being cold. But it was 88 degrees outside. I wore my bathing suit, and then I had I actually had to borrow from the girls because I don't own any of that wicking fabric. I don't own any t-shirts made out of the that kind of I don't know if it's like spandex or something. It's like well, I probably do I have dress shirts that are like the silky material, synthetic material. So I borrowed just a softball jersey type top and a pair of spandex athletic leggings, and as soon as we were in the water and in the rapids, a huge wave came over. I was completely soaked right off the bat, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad I wore this and not cotton, because that's all I usually wear for if I'm going to exercise. I throw on a t-shirt and leggings or shorts or something. So that worked out really well. And then we go through these crazy rapids, and I am I'm not falling out of that boat, and I'm sitting on the front and on the first ballast in the front, kind of like a cheek on the side of the boat, because technically you're not in a raft, you are on the edge of the freaking raft, and you're the water's there, you're sitting on the edge of this bouncy thing in the river. It's totally awesome. You got to do it. And so I am aggressively paddling, and I kayak and I paddleboard, so I am used to paddling. I was a little concerned that maybe I wouldn't be strong enough to do it. It was so awesome. The guy's telling you what to do, and it was funny because some of the moms was talking to Maisie afterwards. She goes, Maisie, your mother's an aggressive paddler. She's really brave. I'm like, oh, so brave. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun though. I almost fell out. There's a couple spots in the river where the guy can paddle you into this area where you just kind of spin, almost like in a whirlpool. And she got us into this area, and my side of the boat just dove right in it, and my paddle got stuck under the boat, and I didn't want to lose a paddle, so I'm holding onto the paddle, and I'm just about pole vaulted almost out of the thing, and luckily the person next to me grabbed my life jacket so I didn't go over, and so I pulled back on the thing. I smacked myself in the face with my paddle. I can't believe I don't have a welt, and I didn't even it didn't even hurt. I was just so just adrenaline rush, just so buzzed from the whole experience, and they were whipping around in the whirlpool. It was awesome. And yeah, and then we got past that first rapids, and the guy's like, okay, does anybody want to switch spots with the front seat people? Nobody wanted to switch spots, so I'm like, sweet, I got to keep the front seat the whole time. And then we got past the first rapids, and they said, does anybody want to jump in and go swimming? And I thought she was kidding, because I thought the goal was to stay in the boat. And so like some of the people that had done it before like hopped in. I'm like, well, what the heck? I'm gonna hop in. I'm not gonna swim. And I'm swimming, and then the currents like carry me. I'm like, the boat is there. I'm like, I do not want to be swimming upstream. So I grabbed on the boat, and I'm like, oh, getting into the boat is much more difficult than hopping out of the boat. And I felt so bad. The guy like yanks me into the boat, and I guess she's used to this. But I'm like, you feel so bad if somebody's gonna like hoist your your body weight into a boat, but I think she was used to it. She's used to people with no upper body strength. And then again, we were further down, and we could jump in again and go swing, and I did that again. It was a lot of fun. I felt rocks a couple times though, because the water level was pretty low, and I was like, geez, I don't know. But it was a lot of fun. And fun fact, the thing I didn't realize, I thought rivers just go, they just run, but the reason they have these whitewater rafting places in certain areas is that there's only like a few hours a day when you can do rafting, because they have to let water out of the dam, and so you have to be going between like 10 and 1 to get the rapids, because otherwise it'll just be calm because they're not releasing water. And this is really interesting. They say like if you get a soaking rain, it's great to raft after that because you have higher water and more rapids. But it was fun. I had an absolute blast. I cannot wait to do it again. And I'm so glad I did that. And I was kind of I just wish I knew about it sooner, because I could have been rafting all these years. And it's funny because I'm like, how fun would your summer job be if it was as a whitewater rafting guide? I mean, my husband's best friend from grade school and high school was a guide. He was a school teacher, and so he would guide during the summers up until a few years ago. I'm like, what an awesome job. You teach school in the winter and guide during the summer. One of the guides was she's a ski instructor in the winter, and she does the guiding, the rafting in the summer. I'm like, man, that's living the life. That's awesome. Although I don't know, I don't think I could handle camping like all summer. I just want to do I just want the fun. So I'll just go on some hot days. But oh my gosh, guys, so fun, totally worth it. If you get the chance to go whitewater rafting, do it. I think it's way better than whale watching. And honestly, go on a weekday. I hear it's like absolutely nutso on the weekends because there's a short amount of time you can be on the rapids, and there's so many people trying to do it. But on a weekday, man, that's when you do it. That's when you go whitewater rafting. I cannot wait. And once you go, they have, I don't know if all the rafting places do it, but this place gives you 25% discount on any other trips you want to do. So Jason's like, if you really like the rapids, you probably like rafting the Penobscot rather than the Kennebec River, because there's more rapids in the Penobscot because it's deeper. I'm like, oh wow, that might be fun. But I do want to go back out to the Forks because a few miles from where we were, there's Moxie Falls, and I haven't been out there, so I do want to check that out. And it's a gorgeous drive out that way in the West Forks, Maine. And I think I really love to drive out there in the fall. I did have my sketching stuff in the car because I didn't know. I thought that like you might raft for a couple hours and take a lunch break. Like they would like cook on like a spot in the middle of the thing, and then you get back on and go. I guess some places do it that way. So I didn't know if there'd be a bunch of downtime, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway unless, I would have put my stuff in a bus if it was there. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect, so I always have my sketching stuff on me anyway. But man, it was just so gorgeous out there that I could totally see just exploring out in that area of my beautiful state. And the nice thing is it's not crowded. Well, of course, now I'm telling you guys, don't crowd. Like, go on the weekdays. Actually, no, go on the weekends. Because the weekdays are not crowded, and it's fantastic. But it was just really nice. It's nice to explore part of the state that you haven't really been in. I have been out that way because I used to teach at a summer camp in Jackman, Maine, which is like right on the Canadian border. And I did the art programs at this camp, this place called Sky Lodge, because it was affiliated with the Senior Center where I was the art director. And then there we also did trips up to Quebec, but that was before 9/11 when the borders got really like tight. But yeah, it's just a really beautiful area, and I highly recommend visiting it if you get the chance. But I'm thinking October is going to be really nice to drive through there and just see the foliage, because it's such a pretty area. Even just where it's all green, it's really pretty. So that's what I did today, and I highly recommend it. And I gotta leave a review for that place because that place was just awesome. The guides were so funny and entertaining, and you have to sign this waiver though. So like last night, I kind of put off. I get anxious before I have to go do things in different places that I've never been before, and I'm always worried about things like parking. Of course, there's no parking here. When you go up north in Maine or out west in Maine, you don't have to worry about parking. That's one good thing about, well, probably on the weekends you would, but it wasn't an issue. But anyway, so I kind of stress out about those things. But so last night I was, oh, by the way, I saw this great movie. So my son signed up for HBO Max, and he had it on the TV in the living room, and I was just kind of scrolling around, I'm like, oh, The Great Gatsby, I read that in high school. And I'm like, yeah, I just wanted a distraction, I guess. I was procrastinating getting all my stuff ready to go out today, and I knew I had to get up early, but anyway, I thought that was a great movie. It's like 2.5 hours long, but man, that's a great movie. And I have to say, Leonardo DiCaprio was a fine actor, and I didn't know, I never really considered him a serious actor. I guess I never really saw much stuff with him, but he is fantastic. Oh, what a good movie. Watch that movie if you have HBO Max. It might be on other things. I don't know. But anyway, back to my procrastinating. I was supposed to be getting all my stuff ready for the rafting trip. I hadn't filled out the like consent form, the waiver form, and checking they had veggie burgers, by the way. Vegan veggie burgers, but might I add, so they get points for that. So anyway, I'm filling out the waiver last night, up later than I should have been, knowing that I had to get up early in the morning. And I'm reading all the things. Paralysis, dismemberment, you will not be held liable for all these things. I'm like, what have I done? I should have gotten a life insurance policy before I went on this trip. So I was really nervous that I was gonna crack my head open but that didn't happen luckily. And we had helmets and life jackets and all that stuff anyway. So, man, just such a freaking blast. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun. I can't recommend it enough. If you like thrills, and you're not afraid of falling in the water, then give it a try. It was awesome. Man, I totally loved it. My husband didn't know what to think. He was like, I know you don't like to be cold and uncomfortable or do things that are too strenuous, but I mean, I'm reasonably fit. So yeah, totally awesome. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I hope that I can get it on some other. I don't know how that works. If you have to have a group of people to sign up, or if you can just sign up as a couple people and because I imagine you have to have a few people in that boat, or that's just gonna flip up in the air, and I think you need some weight on that boat to make it not bounce all over the river. But man, it was such a ball. Oh my gosh. Okay, we haven't talked about anything art related, but that's a sat chat. Sat chat, we talk about anything. So if you're there typing, I came here to hear about painting or whatever, then there's other videos on this channel. This is sat chat. We talk about whatever. I did have some topics here, and actually that was just what I needed because I was feeling a little what's new, right? I was feeling a little stressed out. But I was just kind of, thinking, I had dentist appointments yesterday. Everybody had their dentist appointment. And actually, I didn't schedule for the next ones, but because usually what I've always done is I schedule everybody's on the same day or between 2 days, so I can take the girls, Jason can take Jack, or whatever, whoever's free on whatever day, we can split the kids up and all get our teeth cleaned in one go, within a day or two of each other, so we're all on the same schedule. But now the kids all have their driver's licenses, and Jack is going to move out pretty soon. The next couple of weeks, I know it's my first one leaving the nest. Oh my gosh, yeah, And so, yeah, so we all had a dentist appointment. So I'm always a little nervous, a little anxious. I don't like to go to the dentist. I don't like going to doctors. I was just got this kind of buzz of anxiety before that. And then I'm like, well, is everybody's teeth going to be okay? Because I'm all worried I'm not even worried about myself. I'm worried about everybody else's dental hygiene. And yeah, the kids broke it to me. We don't floss every night. I'm like, what do you mean you don't floss every night? Since you were born, practically, since you've had teeth, I was going to floss every night. I would floss your teeth, you floss your teeth, whatever. Your teenagers, you're not going to floss every night. Is this your big rebellion? I don't know. I guess if that's their big rebellion, I could do worse. But anyway, so I had a dentist appointment, and then we had the college application process night over Zoom for the girls. The girls are seniors this year. So I was watching that and learning about all the things they have to do, in what order and all the deadlines and all that. It's oh my god. And then considering my son's taking a year off at least, and theoretically I could have 3 kids in college next year. Oh my word. Keep me on the Whitewater. I need a distraction for this brain. It's a great time to mention that I'm having a sale at my Teachable School, 40% off all classes using the coupon code FUN40. Help me send a kid to college, will you? Thank you so much. Only if you need a class. Okay. Panhandling is over. Free class over on Michael's next Friday. So it is, I did ask the lady at Michael's, and she said that you can take this class for free anywhere in the world. You just need to go to the Michael's website, the American Michael's website. So if you're in Canada and you're looking for it on the Canadian Michael's website, it's only on the American website, but you can access it wherever you are. There's no restrictions if you live in a different country. It's a free-for-all. So I will put a link to that in the video description. If you get, somebody said they got an error page when they clicked on it. It might have just been really busy because I might have just you know, if this video had just gone up or I had just posted about it, you know, there might have been a lot of people on the site like trying to sign up at the same time. I think that happens sometimes, so just try again a little bit later if you're getting a problem. But I think most people have signed up for it that want to. But it's free. We're using watercolor pencils. I'll just tell you what I'm using right here. I'm using the Derwent watercolor pencils because it is sponsored by Derwent. It's a Derwent and Michaels. But I mean, if you have the Derwent watercolor pencils, wonderful. These are from the 36 set. I don't know if they are all in one of the smaller sets, but they're all pretty basic colors. So if you have a set of watercolor pencils already, use what you have. You probably won't even be able to order these in time. Well, you might be able to, but if you already have watercolor pencils, why not use what you have? Michaels posts the class replays on their website, on their YouTube channel, like a couple days later. So if probably like Monday or Tuesday, I would think they would have it on their YouTube channel. So like if you tried it with the watercolor pencils you have live and it wasn't and you didn't like how they worked, you could always order the Derwent ones. So there's no rush. If you have pencils, go ahead. And in fact, if you have like the Derwent Inktense pencils, you can use them. You're just going to get a more vibrant effect actually, but the downside is if you want to scrub something back, you'll be limited because the Inktense permanently bonds to the paper because it's an ink. But definitely do take it. You don't have to buy anything special. I will though say if you want to paint along in class, there's a free pattern that you can download. Transfer that onto your watercolor paper first. You don't have to ink it first, but if you want to, if you have a waterproof black pen, you can go ahead and do all your inking first as well. That will just, it'll just save you some time. I think it'll be easier to follow along. So I wanted to make sure that I could fit that class in an hour and providing the pattern. Or if you don't want to trace, you can go on the Michaels website, you can look at the artwork. It's right here. You can look at the artwork and you could draw from that, or you could draw something similar. So I don't want to crush your free thinking awesomeness. You do what you want to do. But that way you're prepared with a drawing on your paper already so that when we start to apply color, you can focus on that and not feel like you're rushed. I mean, you can always watch the replay a couple days later on the YouTube channel, but the live class, I don't think you can access that until a few days later if you need to watch the replay. So do sign up, even if you intend to watch the replay. Sign up anyway. It just shows Michaels what kind of interest they have as me as an instructor, and I think they're fantastic to work with. I think Derwent is so fantastic to work with, and I would love more opportunities like this in the future. So there's another shameless plug for you. Oh my word, I'm full of them today, aren't I? This right here, a few of you asked for a tutorial on the bird from my sketchbook. The bird, I think I prefer the bird from my sketchbook, probably because I think if I do something a couple times, I seem to like the first one better. So this is the one from my sketchbook. This is the one from the tutorial I just did. I used the Art Whale watercolors on this, but people were really ticked off that the Art Whale watercolors went out of stock after my review posted, a few hours after my review went up. They are available to order again, but they weren't at the time I filmed this, so I used my M. Graham. And it's so funny that I like the one I did with the cheaper paint better, but yeah, I just wanted to let you know that, use whatever you have, but if you were looking for those Art Whale watercolors, I don't think they're back in stock, but they're available to order on Amazon again, so. And I say the tubes, I think the tubes are quite a bit better than the pans. The pans are just like so many other different brands. I did a video comparing the different, I'm thinking about doing a video actually, and let me know if this would be interesting. I'm thinking about pulling out all my tins of watercolors because I have a bunch of tins of the same as Mungio. I've got a bunch of the same as like the Art Whale. This one's made by Superior. I have a bunch that are the same as Cotman. And I'm wondering if I think I have other ones that are the same as other ones too, but I just don't know who the person private labeling it is. Like the Master's Touch and the Doodle Hog set of 48 are the same, and they might be the same as the Meeden. I found some that were the same as Arteza, it seemed like. So I'm thinking about doing some research and just basically me swatching paint, me just doing my eyeball research and comparing and seeing what tins are the same thing. So and that would all be budget stuff. Other than the Cotman, the Winsor Newton Cotman, which is a student line, I don't know of any legacy brands that are the same as any other budget brands, but if that'd be interesting to see kind of like a these brands are the same, and these brands are the same, and these brands are the same type video, let me know, because I'm kind of just personally curious about that. And I don't know, I like to follow the rabbit down the hole sometimes and see what I can dig up as far as that information. I was saying that I probably should do something like that with colored pencils, but I don't really have the desire to collect too many more budget brands of pencils. I mean, some are really great. Actually, I mean, I have to say a lot of the ones that I've tried have been much better than I expected, because like student grade pencils in the past were just so scratchy and low in pigment and awful. And even I'm noticing the student grades that they used to be pretty good have been kind of disappointing. Like I used to love, Prang used to make these colored pencils and they sold them at Staples and they were like jumbo. The leads were really thick. I'm thinking the leads were like a 6mm lead, and they were just wonderful, very and maybe I'm either they changed or I'm remembering them wrong, because I recently picked up a pack of Prang, like a 36 set of Prang pencils at Martin's, and I really didn't think they were that great. I didn't think they were as good as Crayola. So, but before I thought the Prang, like those thick Prang pencils were better than Crayola. Even their regular colored pencils were better than Crayola. I used to use them in my classes when I taught like in person 20 years ago in my studio downtown. So I don't know if I'm misremembering these pencils or if the pencils got worse, or just there's been a lot more better budget options out there in the last like few years on Amazon, out of China. I'm not sure. I would imagine Prang is probably made in China. I don't know. I didn't pay attention. I gave away those pencils to a daycare because they were non-toxic, child-friendly pencils. I did a comparison at the beginning of the pandemic of colored pencils that would be, you know, you could find them in like your drugstore or Walmart or, you know, probably the grocery store, places you were going anyway. So if you had your kids home because of the pandemic and, you know, you didn't want to make any extra trips, these are like pencils you could find. So if you wanted just something for the kids to work on, give them some art projects, kind of help fill their day, or get some decent stuff for them to create with or use on their schoolwork. I did that comparison, but I ended up giving, I think I gave all of them away to my friend with the daycare because, well, she had a bunch of kids coming in because of the pandemic. She was, you know, parents didn't have a place to put their kids. I think she stayed open, kind of as an essential service. But yeah, I ended up giving away all those kids ones because they were not as good as the budget brands that I had been finding from China. Now I hasten to recommend some of those to kids just because I don't know if I trust the toxicity. I mean, I don't know how toxic colored pencils can be, but some of them have some smells to them, you know. But anyway, for my use, I know, like, I keep a well-ventilated studio, especially in the summer. I have everything open. I love to have the fresh air in the summer. And the basement's plenty cool, so I can leave the windows and bulkheads open and stuff. But yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I don't think I really want to invest in too many more budget colored pencil brands, but there are a lot of really nice ones out there. I would be curious to see what ones are similar to others, but I don't want to buy a bunch of identical products. I think I would have to crowdsource that. Maybe talk to Sarah Renee Clark. She's got a coloring channel on YouTube. It's really wonderful. She does a lot of side-by-side, head-to-head comparisons. She's Australian, and she also does original artwork as well. But she has some really great reviews. Also, Lori from Color My World has some good reviews. Colorfully Optimistic, Pamela's Passion for Pencils. There's a lot of ones out there. Color and Recover has some swatching and comparison videos and stuff. So there's a lot of information. So if you are considering any of those budget brands, you probably can find a couple tutorials on, or a couple of reviews or swatch-alongs anyway of the brands from a couple different channels, so you can compare, because everyone has different opinions. Like, I know that I have different opinions from, like, everybody I just mentioned. I'm sure I have different opinions on certain brands. Like, somebody might be really hard on a brand that I actually like, or they might like a brand that I find to be exactly the same as the brand they say they hate, which is not to throw shade on anybody. We all just have our own preferences, and we also have our own biases, that if we think some company is shady, you know, they could come up with a pretty good pencil, but you might be like, that company's shady, I don't even want to deal with it. And I'm not accusing any companies of being shady. I'm just saying we all have our own opinions and biases of different companies. But yeah, I really don't have the desire to collect any more budget pencils. I have so many really awesome, great pencils that I want to give some more love to. Like, I was just having a hankering for working with the Derwent drawing pencils and the Derwent Lightfast again. And use so many pencils, and pencil work takes so long. I was doing the same thing with like watercolors during World Watercolor Month. I would just grab a different palette that I hadn't used in like a long time and take it out on the balcony and paint for a bit because I thought it was just something fun, novel, do something different. Oh, and I got a really good question from a viewer, and she was asking, 9 times out of 10, what do you choose when you're painting in your studio, or if you're painting outside, you're travel sketching, or if you're painting upstairs at your desk? And I gotta say, honestly, 9 out of 10 times, I grab whatever's on my desk already because I'm lazy. I'm just gonna grab whatever's closest if I just feel like painting at any given time. But I did a whole podcast on more in-depth answer to that question. The link to my podcast is in the video descriptions of all my videos, but I've actually got getting a little more consistent. Okay, I've done 2 this month, which is the most consistent I've been since I started the thing back in March. So if you would like to listen to that episode while you're, I don't know, vacuuming or walking or exercising, whatever, that is in the video description. I probably should put the SAT chats in a podcast format, but I like this. I like, talking to you guys and having the comments. I don't feel like I feel like a podcast is almost like a one-way broadcast, like radio, whereas SAT chats here on YouTube, I feel like it's a two-way street because I keep up with you guys and we're like, oh, what are you up to this week? It's so fun to see what everybody's doing, and I just feel like you have a much better relationship because you see the same names every week, and it's just fun to chit chat. Oh, and I didn't know what to call it. I did this very small Joann's haul, and basically it was like what I bought and what I didn't buy at Joann's, and I just don't know what to call this because it's not really a haul. I mean, it is kind of a haul, but I spent like $14 or something. But it's not like, people that want to watch a haul, they don't want to watch that. They don't want to see, oh, yay, you bought a couple sheets of pad and paper and a pack of canvases, whoop-de-doo, But I had put some stuff back, and I explained why I put them back and kind of how to, frugalize it, do it at home, the things that I didn't buy. And I'm like, I don't know what to call this, or should I do any more of these? And I got so many great suggestions for what it should be called, but my favorite was from Older and Dirt is her username, and she said call it a frug haul, and I'm like, that is awesome, frug haul, I love it. If anybody else also came up with that idea and suggested it, I'm sorry I didn't see, I just saw that one and I'm like, frug haul, I love it. I love it. So if I think so if I don't buy something, I'll have to write it down in my little app or something, my notes app on my phone. I'm like, I didn't buy this because I figured out I could do it. Now I just got to remember to do it. Because a lot of times, people would go to craft fairs and they'd be like, oh, I can make that. It's like, yeah, but will you? You're gonna forget about that the minute you walk out the door. So I just got to remember that. Oh, I can make that with what I already have. I just got to remember to actually make it with what I already have. I feel like I'm hunching my shoulders. I'm going to be sore tomorrow. I can feel it in my knees. I was noticing like walking, actually after the second time I jumped in to go for a swim out of the raft, trying to crawl back on the raft, I was like, oh, I'm significantly more tired now than I was before. I'm like, I should probably take some ibuprofen tonight because I think I'm going to feel it in my shoulders and my knees and maybe my butt, because I think you do a lot of I think your butt plays I think you're clenching, you're keeping yourself on the raft with your butt muscles quite a bit. So shoulders, knees, butt. I'm going to be sore tomorrow. So I'm going to be laying on the couch, Okay, this is how I'm an old lady and I text like this. That's how I'm going to be replying to all the chats in Sat Chat. But anyways, I'm about out of recording time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this weekend. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I hope you try whitewater rafting because, man, it's fun. Don't get hurt though. Play it safe. I love you guys. Happy crafting. Until next time. I already said it. Okay, bye.